So when demonic forces dominate the earth and all things in it, the sacred scriptures are also dominated by satanic forces. We see the previous verses have changed and removed the word Lucifer. I will show you why directly, but first two more have been changed. The obvious is why they have been changed, because something is not right and it is very misleading. So it means to mislead. So we have Isaiah 44:14 NIV and Isaiah 44:14 KJV. He cut down cedars, or perhaps took a cypress. Now, there's no such thing as a perhaps when it comes to the Word of God. Perhaps took a cypress or an oak, you're not sure, and let it grow among the trees of the forest, or planted a pine and the rain made it grow. Perhaps took a cypress or an oak. He heweth him down cedars, which means royalty, and taketh the cypress, which means war, and the oak, the English built their ships out of oak, which he strengthened for himself among the trees of the forest. He planted an ash, and the rain doth nourish it. In horticulture, rain dampens the area around the roots of a tree, then it can be fertilized and soon will become a forest, which is a grove. The ash is a tall, stately tree, pure white, strong and beautiful. He heweth down cedars and taketh the cypress and the oak, which he strengtheneth for himself among the trees of the forest. He planted an ash, and the rain doth nourish it. It's the only verse in the Bible with the word ash. In the King James 16:11, the verse has an English gematria of 1570, and it means put out, exposed to perish, cast out. This is exactly what they did. Now this verse, which is the NIV, has a value of 1294, and it means to distort, figuratively, misinterpret or morally corrupt. Perverse, turn away. They have fallen for the trap. They had no idea that I would come along and expose it. Now, 44:14, we have the ash. We compare the two verses that Lucifer has changed. Both have a value of 1294. He cut down cedars and perhaps took the cypress. 1294. How have you fallen from heaven, O morning star? 1294. Misinterpret or morally corrupt, perverseness. That is what these Khazar Jews are all about. It's all immorality, everything evil. So we have the 14:12 Isaiah Lucifer changed, the Lucifer word removed, and it has a value of 1294. Then we have the Isaiah 14:4 changed in the NIV, and it is also 1294. To distort, misinterpret, morally corrupt, perverse, turn away. The word Lord, found in the King James Bible, 6,666 verses, and it was changed in the NIV to 6434. So what gives them the right to take out 251 times the word Lord? Verse is out, gone. The word God, 3877, has been reduced to 3423. It has been reduced by the 454, which is the height of the pyramid in feet up to the missing capstone. Now the 3423 number is to drive out the previous occupants, to occupy its place. And this is what they've done. They've driven God out and they've occupied it with their own God. Now the number 3423 is the espousal, espoused, by driving out the previous espousal. Got. Now, when we measure from HAARP in Alaska, which was used by the USA to destroy Haiti January the 12th, it aligns with a quake that hit Kobe, Japan on the 17th of January 1995. And it was 365 days after LA. Now, these are all sacrifices. Now, this makes a tremendous amount of money for the contractors to rebuild these places. So we have California going broke, and there's nothing better than a good earthquake to pick them up. So we've got sunrise for Kobe, Japan, 7:08, set 17:15, 6:07 minutes, means decapitate, behead. Venus above was 3:43, set at 13:55 for 6:12, and it was aligned with Jupiter at the time. That's why they did it. 6:12 is a prison. Jupiter 3:42 set at 13:38 is 596, and to mourn means to mourn. Mercury 6:23 minutes, and is same as HAARP. A destroyer, Apollon, Satan. Should be also the devil and Lucifer. Now the Japanese were warned, and very recently warned again, to hand over the treasury of Japan to the oligarchies of America, bankers, and London, which were the Khazars. Now, Saddam Hussein was attacked again when the moon was in its right position, because he was selling his oil on euros when the US dollar was the previous currency. Now the reason they were so incensed about this is that when the US set all these Arab countries up, the bankers were printing money, and the interest on the money printed was being paid by the purchasers of oil, because the sellers of the oil had agreed to pay off a percentage to the Jews. And of course this is not on when it comes to Saddam Hussein. Now HAARP is linked to Pine Gap. There it's an 8,000 metre deep antenna drilled into the world's thickest part of the land crust, and there's a giant sea underneath it, and what they were able to do was put a low woofer type vibration up into the atmosphere, and causes the Australian continent to be a desert for the longest time in history. And they're saying this is due to the weather change and the bullshit story about CO2 being bad for everybody, and we've got to pay taxes on it, and the earth is heating up. It's nonsense. The earth is cooling down. CO2 is good for plants. The bomb that was set off in the Indian Ocean was the reason for the tsunami that hit Indonesia. The Australian and American Navy was 500 kilometres off the coast waiting for it to occur. They dropped a 9 megaton bomb in a bathysphere to the ocean floor and set it off. Now Las Palmas is an island, but in actual fact it's a volcano. It's gigantic, between 2423 metres and 2424 metres high. 2424 is Jesus in the Greek concordance, which is Yahweh. The number 7951 is from Job 3:26. Job is the actually oldest book in the Bible.